welcome back to Painting with Repaint. I'm your host, Billy Osmus, and today we are going to be talking about good quality paintbrushes versus bad quality paintbrushes, how to tell the difference, and is it worth it to spend $20 on a paintbrush? First thing you want to look at when you're picking out a good paintbrush for your home project is look at the bristles. A lot of times you're going to know it's a cheap paintbrush if you can see that the bristles are really uneven, they're spiking up at all different heights, and especially if they're poking out or if they're shedding, like if you can pull on the end of this and there's bristles that are falling out, that's just going to create problems for your painting project, because then you're going to start painting and there will be bristles stuck to your wall, or you're going to see random little streaks because there's such a variant in height when it comes to the bristles. When you're looking at a good paintbrush, you want to look at something that the bristles are really kind of compacted together, so you're going to have much cleaner, crisp lines. Also, you want to look at the height of it, whether it's angled or a flat brush. You're going to see and make sure that all of the bristles are around the same length. If there is like one, you can always take a pair of scissors and kind of trim it a little bit just to make sure they're good to go. But you know, you want to look at the feel of it, any of the additional features of a good paintbrush. I like to have one that has a grip. I have another one that I'm using right now that is a palm brush. I like those a lot better. But again, you want to look at the bristles and see what is sticking out, what is not, and especially looking at the length of them and kind of decide from there. Ultimately, you will still be able to do a painting project, but you might not be able to get the same achieved look that you're going for when you're using a dollar store or a cheap paintbrush. But if you're just doing something quick, it can get the job done. However, when it comes to a professional job or something that you're doing more frequently, I would highly recommend going for a higher paid paintbrush. For one, this is not sponsored at all. I love using zebra brushes. As you can see, we have a handful of them. We've used them for several different projects, and they come in various sizes. They do have a standard paintbrush that is for your home projects, you know, angled, working for trim or whatever. They also have a ton of artist brushes that are really great for muralists, people that are doing more artwork, and their bristles in particular are very highly compact, so you're always going to get these really crisp, clear, clean lines every single time. And so they're just a bunch of paintbrushes that I really like, and they have been well loved. Now we're going to show you the difference between a cheap paintbrush and a more expensive, higher quality paintbrush. First thing first, I'm using my handy dandy repaint tray. It's super fantastic, keeps your paint fresh for up to 21 days. So we've been working on a little project, a little demo of showing the difference between our repaint tray and a plastic one. So I've been keeping my paintbrush in here for about 3 weeks now. And as you can see, it's still very fresh, still good to use. I would say this is also a zebra brush. Look at that. So this is Zebra's palm brush. I love this one. This is incredibly high quality. Again, you're gonna get really crisp lines every time. So this is their angled standard brush. I love the palm brush. These are great. So we're gonna show you the top one here of what looks good for a more expensive, higher quality paintbrush. So that way you can see the difference. Granted, you're not going to be painting an entire wall with a paintbrush, but you're going to be able to see a significant difference between a higher quality brush and a lower quality brush. Obviously, it can also depend on how well you load your brush with how much paint you have. If you're using the right amount of paint, it should show up pretty good, but again, I'm getting pretty good coverage here with the Zebra palm brush, and you see pretty minimal lines, minimal strokes, which is good to see. Granted, again, you're not going to be painting an entire wall with a paintbrush, but it's good to know and see how much coverage it does have when you are especially cutting it around a trim. This is also a Wooster Pro brush. This one definitely falls on the expensive side. Some of these Wooster and Purdy brushes can run upwards of $20 a piece. This one is definitely well loved and well used. It's gotten a little bit rusty actually, but the bristles are still good, so that is what matters here. So we'll show you again, just on the initial stroke, you're gonna see minimal bristle lines and strokes. Next, we're gonna use our cheap dollar store paintbrush. Bristles are sticking up. There's some fuzzies that are hanging out, so we will show you again what this looks like. I definitely feel like I have to load this brush a lot more than the other ones. This one doesn't hold as much paint. It's also a little bit harder to get kind of a good clear stroke without showing a lot of the angles in there, unless like you really heavily load your brush. Yeah, you can see, I don't know if you're able to get a close up, but there's a fuzzy right here. You can see kind of a line here that it's kind of difficult for me to get rid of. And I'm just trying to lightly, I'm trying to just lightly brush here. And so, I mean, looking at all three, does this work? Sure, but you're not gonna get as high quality of a finish. There's another bristle that's just sticking up right there too, if you can see that. You're not gonna get as high of quality of a finish. Like I said, does it work? Sure. It works if you're doing a quick project and you just need to get something done, and it's, you know, a garage or a space or a closet nobody's ever gonna see, fine. But if you are a professional, a hobbyist, DIYer, you know, I definitely recommend spending a little bit more on a paintbrush that's gonna last you long term and something that you're comfortable with using and can load a lot of paint, versus this, I felt like I had to keep dipping it over and over and over again. So the choice is yours. My choice is Zebra, but that will be up to you. If you'd like to check them out, definitely do that, and let us know that we said hi.